Hello there and welcome to Let's Talk IT Careers. This is episode number 26, Public Speaking, the Sound of Silence. My name is Tim Warner, and as you can tell by the title, this is a continuation of a mini-series I have going dealing with public speaking. Here's today's problem statement. You might have noticed that some professional speakers and even audience members, hey, maybe even you, fear silence, or at least are uncomfortable during perhaps prolonged periods of silence. To compensate for this, you might have seen speakers who use a continuous stream of speech, and the silences are filled in with filler words like and ah. Now, the issue with that, at least from my perspective, is that it's way too easy to alienate your audience. In fact, if I'm listening to a podcast and I see the speaker beginning to do that, I literally have to turn it off. I can't take just a continuous stream. It's funny that my wife of nearly 20 years now and I are such a study in opposites that she is one who would tell you herself that she's uncomfortable with prolonged silence. So she does that continuous verbal stream. Maybe Susan, in a way, has helped me to optimize my use of silence as a response to that. Paging Dr. Freud. Anyway, I've found in my own professional speaking that my issue with silence is that I sometimes don't do enough silence, period, not filling in with filler words, but I have pressure of combining the content that I want to transmit with a time limit. If it's work for Pluralsight, then my courses have predefined time targets that I'm looking at. If I'm giving a webcast, almost always that's bound by time. Same with conference sessions. And I just simply want to transmit as much good information as I can. I tend to speak almost nonstop sometimes. Also, in combination, because technology and education represent my professional passion, I have a high degree of energy and enthusiasm when I present. And that, again, makes it a little difficult for me. It makes it challenging to inject more silence into my presentations. One of the best compliments I received from a learner over the years, in fact, I need to dig up that email because it would brighten my day to reread it, is a learner who told me that he always considered me to be a black hole instructor. Now, if you might think, whoa, that's an insult, isn't it? It actually isn't. If you know just a tiny bit about the black hole phenomenon in space, it's an area of, at least theoretically, almost infinite density. And this learner said that my training is so packed with information, it's almost as dense as a black hole. And that's good for many learners, but I understand because I've had learners give me the feedback, Tim, can you sometimes slow down? If you're one of those learners listening right now, let me let you know something. Remember, at Pluralsight, you can adjust the playback speed. So if I'm talking too quickly or any speaker is talking too quickly, you can slow them down. I tend to go in the opposite direction and speed up, but your mileage may vary. The solution here, of course, is to add dynamics to your presentation by injecting space. I'd like to think as a case study of my friend Missy, who is an IT professional that's fairly well known in the industry, and she gives conference talks and user group talks. And the thing that I like most and the thing that I enjoy the most about attending Missy's sessions is that when she doesn't have something to say, she lets her silence speak for itself. And that silence serves really great benefits for her talk in terms of separating major parts of it. Also, well, actually, I have the good points of Missy's silence summed up in this next slide. By injecting silence into your talk, you're giving both yourself as a speaker as well as your audience members time to think and to process the information that you're transmitting to them. By contrast, you may be receiving questions from the audience. When you do receive a question, don't be afraid to let the silence hang for a while so you can think and give a good answer to that question. As I mentioned, silence also has the excellent benefit of being a good transition between topics or major points during your presentation. And I submit that the steady and confident use of silence, and for you to demonstrate that you're not afraid to use silence, it accentuates your credibility. Now, that's something that might be difficult to quantify quantitatively, but qualitatively, you might find that, well, heck, you can get quantitative feedback data if you give a a conference talk because generally the attendees are going to fill out evaluation forms. Same with classroom presentations. But I do submit that in my own experience as a learner and as a receiver of speeches, Missy is a perfect example. Her use of silence accentuates her credibility in my eyes. Now, what are some easy ways for you to get started? And note that I'm minding my own medicine here and plan to implement these more into my own public speaking. One is to eliminate filler words. One of my early episodes in Let's Talk IT deals with this very issue. It's ums, ahs. These things, in my opinion, are verbal crutches and clutter that will detract from your message. Now, I understand some people believe that those filler words actually make your speech more approachable. I mean, you can believe that, and I guess I can believe what I believe. I've worked to eliminate those from my speech in order to make my speeches terse is the word I was looking for, or compact. My literary hero is Ernest Hemingway, and if you've ever read any of his novels, you know that he was a master of really succinct, compact speech where every word conveys meaning, and that's my goal when I write something professionally as well as speak professionally. I've given this record your own presentations tip in so many Let's Talk IT Careers episodes. You might think, well, Tim, how can I do that? I don't speak for a living. I'm just a business person. Well, volunteer to give a lunch and learn session and ask the attendees if it's okay if you record it for your own learning benefit. Use your mobile phone, record it, and spend time listening, troubleshooting, thinking where you could better inject space. As far as daily practice goes, you can practice injecting space into your personal conversations. Not only does this space give you good practice from an instructional point of view, but also, I dare say, gives you a better position to listen to what the other person in the conversation is saying. After all, it is a dialogue and not a monologue, right? I hope you got a lot out of this presentation. I did. If you want to reach me for any reason, the name is Tim Warner, and my Twitter handle is TechTrainerTim. My website is timwarnertech.com, and my actual professional training work is done with Pluralsight, pluralsight.com. Thanks again. Take good care.